What's up, YouTube? It's Football Watch 90 here again. We'll do a really quick review on the Predators 25, and I'm doing it differently because I'm not sure if you guys watched the previous video. I wore these shoes, I practice, I train, and you can see that they're worn out here. Like, I really wore them, gotten dirty, and it's just to prove, right? So I have more than a month of playing with this before I got injury in my back, hip area, probably just from overworking and then training after work. I'll probably explain things a little bit more in detail in that video, but I just wanted to do a review on this. I'm not gonna have any footage with shooting or dribbling with this boot, because when I actually was wearing the shoe, I felt like I wanted to be more just to the shoe and definitely feel a lot better in reviewing the product when I'm not recording, because I'm not thinking about how the footage is coming out, etc. So it also just allows me to focus more on the experience, how I felt, sensations, especially when hitting the ball. Do I think the Predator element is good, is decent, or is bad? So with that said, I just wanted to talk about the Predators 25. Now, do I think they are an improvement over the Predators 24 that we have here? Well, let's go over it quickly. We'll have an answer, but there are differences that are very noticeable right away. So when we look at the Predator element, the strike zone, well, it's very similar to the previous year Predators, but the area that you're gonna have, the surface area where the Predator element is gonna be contacting the ball, it's a lot bigger in the 24s than it is on the 25. You can see it's just a thinner little line that curves around the arc of the foot and close to the toe area. So one thing is that I would say that the pronunciation, how they stick out, is very similar in terms of how high they are, but they really cut down on the amount of rubber elements that are going to be here for the Predator element to take effect when hitting the ball and contacting it. So I did go for the one with no tongue, and I did that on purpose because there's two things that I felt were very noticeable with the 24s, and that's that with the fold over tongue, it does feel like this area that's created here kind of makes you feel like there's a lack of lockdown on the shoe. And I wanted to try the Predators without a fold over tongue and see if the lockdown sensation was different, and it definitely does feel like the regular elite Predators, or whatever they call, without fold over tongue, are superior in terms of how it feels with lockdown. So the sensation of lockdown is a lot better with this, because a fold over tongue definitely kind of makes an empty area here. So it really depends how you place your tongue. Some people like tongue to be a lot lower, like this. I don't know why people want that, but I'm not exaggerating. Like, people do like that for some reason. They think it's gonna make them play like David Beckham, and not a big David Beckham fan. I think personally he's just a hype player, overhyped player, but he's just a marketing tool basically for these brands. And definitely go with this version that doesn't have the fold over tongue if you want a better lockdown sensation. Secondly, is the Predator element better on the 25 than the previous one? The answer is no. So like I said, there is a larger surface area where you're gonna make contact with the ball, and that's basically what's gonna be giving you the sensation that you really get that really sticky slap sensation when you hit the ball appropriately and get contact with this. You don't get the exact sensations when you are hitting the ball with these Predator elements on the 25, because there's less surface area to contact the ball, and to some degree it does a job to give you a sensation that there's some stickiness to it, but it's not 100% there as you would kind of feel it in this one's in 24. With 25, because there's less surface area to contact the ball, it definitely feels like you're not getting that grippiness that you will get with the 24s. And it's weird because it took time for me to feel like I was getting some grip when I was hitting the ball. And does that mean your curves are gonna be less pronounced than with this one's? Not really, but I definitely feel like that extra surface area helps with feeling that sensation. I don't know, personally I feel like that sensation when you really get a good grip with the ball is like a slap sensation with your foot on the ball. And that's something that I do feel a lot with these ones, the Mercurials Superflies and or the regular Vapors, because the contact area or the surface area that's gonna have all the grippiness or the grip knit, as Nike is calling it here, definitely it's just like unaltered, or there's nothing interrupting it. Basically it's like uninterrupted grippy surface area. Maybe not here, but I mean you're not hitting it most of the time with this, but definitely with these areas it does feel like you really get that good sensation when hitting the ball with the grip knit, as opposed to this where it's kind of less, and you definitely felt it a lot more here. I would say that in terms of getting a good hit and curve with the ball, the 24s with the Vapors or the Mercurials of the 2025 definitely are similar level. Of course I feel like this one has more grip than this because it's uninterrupted, as unlike here, the areas where there's no grip, and especially like here, whatever. So that's one of the things of the 25. However, I do feel like the material, the synthetic, what do you call it, the hybrid touch, it's a lot, well not a lot, but it's a little bit thicker, so it does give you a little bit more of like a clutch sensation when you are dribbling the ball, when you're juggling as well. And one of the things that I do like about the 24s is the 25s is that the hybrid skin or hybrid touch upper on the 25s, it's just a better sensation than this one. This one's a lot thinner, and I don't know, it's just personally I prefer this. This really felt like there was nothing special to it. It was just as thin as possible as they could make it, and they really focus on the predator element, as opposed to this. I think overall the boot feels a lot more comfortable when dribbling and touching. And then I guess the price to pay with that is that you're gonna have less predator element. If the predator element was more evident or more obvious in terms of how it stood out more in the shoe, I feel you'll have something that would feel a bit clunky, and I guess that's why they did it that way. However, like everything else, like the build of the shoe, I think it's very similar to last year's. I don't see any differences, especially going like side to side. So it's a very comfortable shoe. Again, they kept the same sole plate, so I don't think that there was anything to fix here. In terms of design, I do think that the Predators look a lot better this year than last year. Maybe, I don't know if it has to do with this like curve, or also it's just probably because it doesn't feel like, you see those stripes on the side, I definitely feel like that adds a little bit more to the design, but definitely maybe something to do with these curves and just the way that they designed the Predator elements. I feel like it's a little bit more pleasing to the eye overall than this one's. But if you want the effects, I definitely think that the 24s are a better deal if you are looking for a deal, especially because they're probably going to be discounted right now, as opposed to these ones are going to be full price. And yeah, I just want to compare. I don't want to make separate videos and tell you, oh, like Predator vs Puma, Predator vs Nike, like everyone is always trying to do that. I don't want to waste your time, so let's just get kind of to it. Yeah, like I said, Lockdown is pretty good. I don't have the fold over tongue. I have to try the fold over tongue. I don't think that anything changed, so I wouldn't predict that there'll be big differences between the fold over tongue and the 24s and the 25s. However, lockdown wise, I feel like this ones give you the most lockdown. I don't think that they are marketed as a effect boot or something. That's more like a control playmaker. Regardless, all of that thing is BS. However, I do feel like the basically the lockdown on this is pretty solid, especially like how hard it is to get your foot in this, like I make in previous videos. However, over time I was kind of giving Puma some like leeway to say that they were pretty good shoes, but using it more and more, I definitely felt like it wasn't anything special with these ones. I know the new features are out, so I can only speak about these ones because I'm not able to, basically, even if I get the new Pumas, I'm not gonna be able to test them the way I would usually do because of my injury. So I don't know, this is a good deal if you want a professional boot and you're not really looking for like super, I don't know, like sensations when you're kicking the ball. It's solid, it's nothing wrong with it, it's just maybe not the best in terms of like what's out there, especially if you do want the sensation of the curves when kicking the ball. You can just get this at a discounted price. I don't know about the lesser models and the 24s, but I would definitely just go for the elite version. So lockdown is pretty good, but yeah, like I said, there's nothing really special about the Pumas that stands out. And even though I try to give it a try and say like it was good, you know, with what's out there right now, I would definitely kind of like try to see what else I can get, especially if you can get other deals with other Adidas boots. And then in terms of the Superfly or the Mercurials, I know this is not supposed to be like a power boot like the way that they market Adidas, and it doesn't have the same reputation as Adidas. It's not, I mean, in terms of like, it's supposed to be a boot for kicking, right? For having those extra curves and whatnot. Definitely is what the Predators created that market, and the Mercurials were not meant for that. They're more a speed boot, and they still are speed boots, but they do have that grippy element. So I would say that personally, even comparing the Mercurials to the GX that I have in blue, which I also made a video for, definitely I prefer these ones a lot more. I think they're a lot more snug for my foot, and of course that just depends on you, right? Because I have perhaps like a normal foot, and I think that this fit is a lot more snug and in the direction that I'm looking for, and especially because it's just like really no nonsense. It's just a very plain boot. There's not much here, no uninterrupted grip knit. So for me, definitely I prefer the sensation of kicking the ball with this, because now you have the grip knit and it gives you kind of same sensations as a Predator. And like I mentioned before in previous videos, starting from the 24, the Predators kind of became like a more slimmer fitting boot, right, compared to the previous one, which was really bulky, and especially the triangular studs that kind of felt like they really had too much grip on the ground. That personally I feel like it kind of had its effect on my knee and an injury that I had. So I wouldn't recommend using these shoes in synthetic, you know, synthetic grass. And as you can see, these ones are actually the synthetic versions of the Mercurial. So I haven't used them because I haven't really been in synthetic grass. I'm not a big fan of synthetic grass, so I just kind of stick to just plain and natural grass, even though this is what happens, right? But in terms of cleaning the shoe, I didn't clean the shoes on time, so they do look kind of nasty, but it's bound to happen, right? You use the shoes, they're gonna get dirty. You even see the professionals playing with shoes already look really dirty, but they play really often. But honestly, it's easier to clean them than this, I would say. And I mean, this one still stay a little bit dirty, but anyway, I don't think that really matters in terms of the performance. It's just aesthetics. So in general, I would say that I am a big fan of this I'm a big fan of the Predators. I do feel like when I was juggling the ball and the ball hit this area, there was that sticky sensation that I kind of found it pleasing. But the good thing is also that it's not too obvious when you're dribbling that there's a sticky sensation or the Predator element on the boot, which when you are dribbling the ball and touching here and there, it does have a better sensation as a speed nimble boot compared to this one, because definitely this were getting in the way when dribbling the ball with this area. You would sometimes feel the ball, I would feel like it's stuck in this area because of the grip, and you don't really get that with this. So that's the good and the bad. Less grippy, but it's better for dribbling, which is kind of better, I would say, overall, because you don't want to be in a situation when you have the ball, you're dribbling, and then you get stuck and you fall over. You're gonna look like an ass, and definitely this one kind of avoids that. Did have that sensation very obvious with the Mercurial, so it's something that you gotta get used to. But I feel that over time, when the shoe gets a little bit stickier or actually gets dirtier, right, you start to accumulate dirt and whatnot, the sticky sensation on the grip knit kind of decreases over time because of that, because of all the little minerals and stuff that gets stuck to the fiber. Right, I don't know if you can see, but it definitely gets stuck there, so it's hard to clean. Opposed to this, the synthetic material is gonna get dirty, but I mean it doesn't get in the way of these predator elements, the rubber elements. So the sensation from day 1 to day 30 or day 50 or day 90 of the grip elements will always remain the same, because I always felt the same way from these ones. So it just takes time to get used to it, but it never goes away. So if that's something that you really look forward in a boot, I think that the Adidas Predators really do an amazing job with it. Overall, I use these boots a lot. I felt that it was just kind of comfortable. Was it my favorite? No, I still like the way that the Mercurials feel, but I definitely try to give chance to other boots, and I felt like they actually, I was pretty pleased with how they felt on my foot. And just overall, like the stud pattern in natural grass and everything, it just feels like a really light boot. So that's one of the good things about the new Predators and new shoes coming out. That, I mean, maybe it's bad for people who have chubbier feet, but personally, as a person who feels that they have a regular average length or average width foot, I think that this is pretty good choice. So overall, yeah, I do recommend these ones. If you want more grip, try to find good deals on the 24s. But if you are looking for like better lockdown, I think that this one offers a better, maybe this one's better lockdown, but overall maybe the other things that he offers is not really up to par with the other boots out there. Lockdown is there, but everything else, I think this one's performed a lot better, especially with grippiness. So that's just my quick review on these boots. Sorry I don't have footage, and kind of like what I got used to in terms of editing videos. This video is not it. I just wanted to make a quick review on it, and just kind of like not try to make like 20 videos on the same Predator and say Predator 25 versus 24, Predator 25 versus Mercurials, Predator versus PUMA, Predator versus Mizuno. Like, it's just straight to the point. Okay, so I hope you found this helpful. I'll see you on the next one, and please thumbs up, subscribe, and just keep practicing, and hopefully we'll get something out of this. Thank you, and see you on the next one. Football Watch 90.